Hello everybody, my name is Mathis and welcome to the very timely, not late, and absolutely on time answers to the Q&A. We're running, 3 weeks after I asked for them, just perfect amount of time to formulate the correct answers. I apologize, Afterbirth came out as well as just being distracted with a bajillion things. I have my green screen set up, not gonna use it, but I have it set up because the Fallout stream will be starting in a couple of days and I'm really pumped for it. I don't want to have to reset everything up, so I'm gonna leave it there. If that bothers you, suck it. So we're going to start with our first question. There was a ton of questions. I grabbed like the 15 that most interested me, and then I narrowed that down to like 10. I apologize if I don't get to your question. If you want, save that question. Maybe I'll grab it for the next Q&A, and that I'll do hopefully not too long from now. But these are the 10 that I found the most interesting. There weren't too many really silly questions this time around, so these are just purely answers for more personal questions. So let's start right away. The first question comes from Sab Tiger 340. He says, I love asking YouTubers this question. So much has changed in gaming in just a few short years. Where do you think we will be in another 15 to 20? It's interesting because gaming has definitely changed drastically over the past 20 years. I mean, 20 years ago, I was a young boy, and gaming at that point in time was a very different landscape. And every time a new console came out, I always thought, graphics can't get any better than this. And this was, from Nintendo on, I always thought, PlayStation 1 came out, wow, graphics can't get any better. PlayStation 2 came out, wow, graphics can't get any better. The Xbox 360 and PS3 came out, wow, graphics can't get any better, and so on and so on. So I don't know how we're going to be looking as far as graphics in 15 to 20 years, but I think the big thing that's going to be commonplace in 15 to 20 years is going to be VR. We already see VR really taking a major step forward these past few years. In the next 5 years, I think it'll be in most gamers' houses, and then from there on, it'll become more and more common in other people's homes. So I think that's going to be the next big shift, is going to be VR, readily accessible, really affordable, and maybe we'll see some wireless VR in the 15 to 20 years. I think one of the biggest challenges is going to be comfortably wearing a headset. And one of the big problems I have with the Oculus, at least the DK2 kick I have, is like 3 or 4 wires coming off of the headset. When we are able to make it wireless, then we're going to be looking at a really excellent and interesting situation. And I do think in 15 to 20 years, we'll be looking at that. Very cool question, and I appreciate it. Next question comes from VD Heisenberg. He says, Mathis, are you going to be making videos on at least one full vanilla playthrough of Fallout 4? Huge Fallout fan. I've been playing since, forever, and he wants to see me play it. So if you didn't see my announcement already, I will be doing a Fallout 4 week over at twitch.tv/MathisStarcraft. That is my Twitch channel. Link to that is always in the description below. Will that go beyond a week? 99.9% sure, yes. But I call it Fallout 4 week because I'm going to be playing every single day for the launch week of Fallout 4. Fallout for me it's weird. I adore the Fallout lore and world. I played Fallout 1 and 2 a long time ago, but I didn't love it as much until I played Fallout 3. And I honestly think New Vegas is better than 3, but I love both of them. But 3 was the first one of the Fallout franchise that hooked me, and I don't know why. And I thought about it for this question. Why was Fallout 3 the game that really dragged me into the Fallout universe? And I think at the time, it's because it was one of the first games that did first-person RPG exploration well. I always think back to why I loved Fallout 3, and the story is not what I loved about it. The main story was pretty cliche and pretty boring, especially for a post-apocalyptic world. What I loved about Fallout 3 was the world exploration. I absolutely was hooked on just looking and exploring every little nook and cranny that there was to see in Fallout 3. And it's one of the things Bethesda does really well. For their lack of ability to really tell a story that branches in a million different ways, like a lot of RPGs do nowadays, they make up for in a very rich and engaging world to explore. One of the things, I think in Fallout 3, I spent 200 to 300 hours on the Xbox 360 version, then another 100 or so on the PC version. One of the things I loved to do was go into a home and just see the story that was being told there. Fallout 3, I'll always remember just going into homes and seeing like a skeleton on a bed or a skeleton in a tub with another skeleton in a chair in the living room or something. And just thinking like in this home, when the nuclear bomb went off, these people were just relaxing. They were just like, they probably accepted their fate, and just one was taking a bath while one was, you know, sitting in a chair, and they kind of just died that way. And finding all of that, and there's all kinds of little things in Fallout 3 with little teddy bears in interesting positions and interesting places. Like the scenery and the objects in the world tell a story, and there's so many of them to find, and that's what I cannot wait for in Fallout 4. And I think that's why Fallout 3 really dragged me into the world. Coupled it with the music, and the first time really, like, I remember walking out of the vault and seeing the land before me and just being like in awe. Man, I can't wait for Fallout 4. I really can't, and I'm so excited for it. So thank you for that question. Next question comes from Valerie Ann. She asks, what made you get into YouTube, and who is your favorite person to do videos with? I've told this story a million times. I'll give you the short version here. If you want a longer version, you can go check out my Let's Chat About Depression video that I did a long time ago, about a year ago now. But generally speaking, I was in a really rough place in my life at the time. My friends were moving away. I had to drop out of college to take care of family. And I was very poor at the time, and I was working crazy hours at the restaurant. I needed a hobby. I needed a way to let my fandom for video games let loose, because at the time my friends were very busy with their lives and I didn't have a lot of time to hang out and talk with them. So I did what I thought was right, and I was like, I love esports, I love StarCraft, I'm very passionate about it. I'm gonna start casting StarCraft on YouTube, because it's like, it lets me do what I want to do, and it lets me kind of share that passion with like 2 people who watch it. And I did that for about 2 years. Casting StarCraft, very, very little success. And then I eventually started covering indie games, and things kind of just took off, and it just did really, really well. As far as who my favorite YouTubers are to work with, that's an impossible question to answer, because I work with a lot now, and I absolutely count myself incredibly lucky and very happy that I get to work with everybody. But Northern Lion, Bear Taffy, Rockley Smile, probably the 3 closest that I've worked with, people that I would very much consider good friends. I'd say probably those 3 would be my favorite, but I love everybody I work with really a lot. It's been wonderful. Paracosm asks, Mathis, have you ever wondered how you got so popular? If so, what content do you believe brought in the most viewers for your channel? I actually get this question kind of a lot, and this reason I kind of pulled it, because I get it on Twitter, I get it on Ask FM. How did you get so popular? Or what made you so popular? Have you ever wondered what made you so popular? First, thank you for using the word popular, because I would not use that word. But for me, a lot of it is just hard work. I worked very, very, very hard, and continue to work very, very, very hard to make the channel what it is today. And with a little bit of luck and years of hard work, I was able to finally get some traction and make this a profession, which I adore. I think the content that initially gave me the kick was Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid was the very first game that really gave me my first burst of traffic for the first maybe year after doing StarCraft, for the first year after StarCraft. And survival games then kind of became my niche until I started being a bit more variety based. But I think the survival games really really drew the audience, and that's why they do so well on the channel. Next up is whatever. It says, sorry, just a pretty standard and boring question here. So it's almost the end of 2015. Do you have any plans or goals, personal or business or otherwise, for 2016? What are your resolutions? And I'll throw in a random one. Have you found your first white hair on your beard yet? For that question, yes, I have. But for 2016, it's just continue to grow. I want to continue to make this community that we've fostered, this awesome YouTube channel, to continue to get bigger and better, and continue to do cool things. I'd love to do a lot more charity streams in 2016, and I think the big thing is I want to do a lot more streaming in the year of 2016, because it's a lot of fun, even if a little time consuming. So going over to the Reddit questions, which you can go check out on my subreddit is Mathis Games. Go check those out. The first one is from, well, the first 9, but we're only going to pick a couple, from I'm the Doctor 26. I'm the Doctor 26 asks a few things, and there's a couple that I wanted to check give a couple of rapid fire answers on these. Some of them are really funny. Do you sleep with your closet door open or closed? Open. Would you ever strip or pose nude in a magazine? Maybe, for money. And what do you dip your chicken nugget in? Barbecue sauce, every single time. And then the final thing is, are you a butts or a boob man? We've asked, the reason I picked this question is because I actually got this question asked a while ago, and I answered it in my Honey Pop series. You should watch it. It's kind of funny that Honey Pop brings out like what I like in a girl or whatever. But butts. I'm a butt man, definitely. Oh, last one I want to answer. Would you ever consider doing an Omegle/chat roulette meet? Actually, this is something I've been contemplating. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of interest in it, but I have thought about doing an Omegle meetup for fans around the world. If you're interested in that, you should let me know, and maybe I'll do it. Next one is from the Blackfish. Another question that I get a lot is, how old is Maya? She's a pretty cat. Maya is 8 or 9. I believe she's 8, closing in on 9 years old. She's adorable. There's a hilarious story. So initially when I first met Maya, she was not a fan of me. Didn't hate me, but she was just off. And it took me about 2 years of building trust with this cat until she officially started to love me. And now she cuddles with me regularly. She's sleeping on a backpack right now. But I love Maya. She's an awesome cat. And she's 8 or 9. And yes, you're right. She's very, very pretty. Next question from Crim2 Songwriter is, if you couldn't be a YouTuber, what would your dream job be? Well, before I kind of went into this job, this profession, this hobby that became something even more, I've worked in the restaurant industry for 11 years. In fact, I was on track to start doing like management training, and I think that's what I would be doing now if I wasn't doing this, which is good money, but it's super stressful. The dream job that I had, and what I was initially going to school for before I had to drop out, is I was going in for computer programming and stuff, and I think I would love to work in the gaming industry one way or another. But the one thing I loved, and I stopped studying in college because I realized how hard it was to get a career with it, was history, particularly American history. I don't know why my country's history is fascinating to me, just how weird of a country we are from beginning to end. And I think if I could have done a dream job working in a museum, teaching history in a high school, that might be, or still might be, my dream job. It's one of those things that I am fascinated with history. I love history. I love all old things, which might be why I love Fallout so much, because it's this weird alternate 1950s future, retro future kind of history. And I love the old music for it. I think if I could, I would teach or do something with history. I think I would love that the most. So that might be my dream job. Thank you. Tigerface6974. How do you name your rebirth videos? They are most of the time unrelated to the run itself. Oh, how you are wrong, friend. Usually there's like one weird thing when I'm doing the video that completely sticks out for me. Sometimes it's incredibly unnoticeable and very subtle. Sometimes it's obvious. Usually I'll latch onto that and I'll just name the episode after that. Like one of my most recent ones I named Mellow Yellow. And the reason for that is the laser beams were yellow and they were weird, and that stuck out to me. Bloody Rage was another one, and that was because I was playing Samson, and every time he got hit, he gets stronger, and he gets stronger to me, gets like angrier in rage. It's that. Very simple. I wish there was a more interesting answer. The last question is one that I get asked a lot, and I will answer it again here, and hopefully people can just come check to this video and they will do it. What was the evolution? Oh, this is by NM Hunate. What was the evolution of your screen name? Do you have any regrets that you didn't pick anything else? And how many copies of the shirt do you have? So the shirt he's asking about is one with red sleeves. I have 2 copies of that shirt. They usually rotate in and out of the laundry. I bought 2 of them because I loved them at American Eagle, and they were on sale for like buy one, get one half off or whatever, I think at the time. The evolution of my screen name is pretty boring, pretty simple. Back when World of Warcraft launched in 2002, I hit the random name generator on my human warlock, and it came up with Matthias. I got rid of the I, and it said Mathis, and I was like, that's cool, I like it. And I used that for everything, Dungeons and Dragons, video games, whatever. And when I made my YouTube channel, clearly I named it Mathis. And then YouTube channel went from Mathis445 to Mathis Starcraft to Mathis Games. Mathis445, I didn't like the numbers at the end of it. Mathis Starcraft initially when I casted Starcraft, and then when I officially moved over to gaming, I did it early, like after my first 1,000 subscribers, I moved over to Mathis Games, kind of had to restart there. And then I kept the Mathis Games because I felt, generic a little bit, but it worked. And I liked it. So pretty simple. Like I said, it's boring, but that's just where it comes from. So that's going to wrap up the Q&A. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to it. Like I said, not too many goofy questions, but some fun ones, and I hope you enjoyed the answers. I will probably do another one of these after the Fallout 4 week. Fallout 4 week is going to suck my life away, and I'm excited for it to suck my life away. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys are going to be there for it. I hope you guys enjoyed the answers. If your question wasn't there, I apologize. I'll do another one of these, and you can throw your question at me at that particular time. Thank you guys so much. Much love, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.